website builders. Hey Elena, how are you?
All right, thank you. How about yourself?
I am good. Mark, Mark is on his way. He popped out and then didn't realize the kids started back to school. So it's prime time for school traffic. So he is on his way back, but he's going to be join us a little bit later on.
Okay,
So,
that's
yeah.
fine.
Check out your new hair. You gave us a preview last week, but it's down now.
It's time to
So
show the goods.
looks really nice.
Yeah, this is what it looks like. It
That's
looks
cool.
gray on stream, but it's actually it's not gray. It's like bleached, highlighted. So it's
Yeah,
not gray. I haven't aged. I'm alright.
suits you. To be fair, suits
Thank
you.
you.
Suits you
Yeah,
a lot.
I think so as well.
What's been going on for you this week? What have you been up to?
Uh, just working on our data project. A lot of time this week. I spent a lot of time. I just really am excited of what we're finding. You shared something recently that was quite interesting. There was some like quite closeness in terms of some things, some niches. Just a lot of time spent there, and I'm full of bites and scratches because of my puppy. Uh, so apart from that, this was my week. How about you?
Yeah, good. I'm now in Spain. So although it looks like I'm cooped up in a very dark room, it is in fact very sunny outside, and I'm sitting next to the window. And if I had the window open now, it's just like all the light is on my back, so you can't see my face. So I have to close it for the live stream. But yeah, it's been good. Went to the beach after work yesterday. Going to the beach after work today, which it doesn't even sound awesome. It is awesome, to be fair. It's really cool.
I think it is.
Like 1 minute walk from the beach, which is great. It's
Oh,
literally
is
down the road.
it?
Yeah, there was drama on the beach yesterday though. So Jess and Parker went to the beach, and I was going to join them. Before I got down there, she texted me to say that a little kid had pooed in the water, and I just envisioned
Uh-oh.
like Kevin and Perry style, and yeah, apparently people were jumping out. And when I went down there, the offending poop was actually washed up on the beach in the corner. So
Ew. Ugh. God.
yeah,
How
but
come it
apart
didn't
from
get
that, no.
cleaned up? How come it didn't get cleaned up by anyone?
Oh, who's going to clean it up? I wasn't going to clean it up. I'm not touching that.
The sea cleaners? Are they the beach cleaners?
No, I think the waves just took it back out when it came in next. I think. Yeah, that's it. And same as you, just been working lots on the data project this week. Trying to get it finished in the next week or two. Really, I don't know how many sites we've got now. A couple of thousand sites in there. I think we want to get it to 5,000 sites in total before we start really delving into it. So yeah, it's good. Some interesting stuff coming out, like you said, but we won't share any more of that until it's ready.
Yes.
So
Yes.
let's do a bit of housekeeping first. Let's say hello to people. So hey, Carly, how are you? Hey, nobody's here. Whoever that is, nobody's here. 10-minute travel break. Hey, Scott, Birdie, and Phil. So welcome all to the stream. This week we are delving a little bit more into the life of Elena, her journey. You've obviously seen her on the stream before. She's our website investing specialist. She breaks down our age domains, which we're going to be doing more of today. But what most of you probably don't know is Elena's only been in the industry for a couple of years. She used to do something completely different. And she's also started her own site and made lots of mistakes, which she's going to share with you. And now she's on the road to success, it looks like, from her Google Search Console graph. So it'll be good to see that and kind of understand where you're going and what you've learned so far. So yeah, I didn't know how you were going to do this. I had a ton of questions planned out, but then you said, I've got this awesome presentation. So over to you, Eleanor, and the presentation, I guess.
Yeah, I think I'll start with the presentation, and if you have any questions, just shoot them over because I feel like a lot of people can resonate and kind of can relate to my situation because I'm not presenting a successful case study right now. Like I am just like everyday person, like the majority of our audience here at the Shopsite Builders channel, who are on our journey to success. So I think that yeah, a lot of people can relate. So feel free to ask any questions along the way, and I will begin my presentation. Okay, so the road so far. So
You
yeah,
sold me already. You sold me already. The roads are far away.
Yeah, so as I was just literally saying, I just want to disclose quickly that I'm not sharing a success story. I don't have this amazing case study to show you where everything is fantastic. I'm making a lot of money. This is just my journey to where, to success. And, often, success stories, they tend to have bumpy roads along the way until they reach that success. It's like trying to, climb a mountain. It's really hard journey to get to the top, but once you get to the top, it all seems like it was easy, but really it wasn't. So a lot of people who are successful have been through this journey of failures and mistakes, and just trying to push to get to that top of that mountain. So here is my journey to get to the top of that mountain. So
We talked about this
yeah,
on the stream yesterday with Alex about he was talking about how people have been hit in the recent Google update and they think about giving up and just leaving the industry behind. And kind of what you just said there, if you treat this like a business, every business has ups and downs and good times and bad times and almost like a roller coaster of highs and lows. But the people that make it to the end and are successful are the ones that can ride out those lows and take those highs and carry on with them. So yeah,
yeah,
it's definitely not all, well, it's never plain sailing, whether it's
yes.
content sites or business or anything in life really.
Yes, and I think with the Google updates, I think that they are a good thing actually, because they test you, and it kind of clears up the people who aren't strong enough to carry through the storm, and only the people who are able to carry through the storms remain, and these are the people that tend to thrive and manage to get on the top of that mountain. So I think that they are really bad, but they are also really good because they test us. And yeah, anyway, okay, so as most of you gather, I have a very strong accent. So I'm not from the UK, nor am I from any English-speaking countries. So I am originally from a country called Bulgaria, and I immigrated to the UK when I was 18. A week after I turned 18, I flew to the UK, and I had to make some money, so I worked as a dog walker and I worked as a cleaner for a while until I managed to start an apprenticeship in cooking. I've always been very passionate about food and cooking, and I've always wanted to be a chef. So I managed to fulfill one of my dreams, and that dream was to be a chef. And I worked in that industry for the next 5 years, and I'm an idiot sandwich. All right. Um, the beginning. So I was still working as a chef when I decided to open my first site. I would like to dive a bit deeper into how and why I decided to open a site. So probably some of you are familiar about the hospitality industry. You tend to work evenings, long hours, weekends. So it was hard work, I guess, for the first 3 to 4 years until I managed to find a job that was daytime. So it was 6 in the morning until 4. So I found myself with time in the evening. However, I don't know whether it's ADHD or I'm just a little bit crazy, but I get really depressed if I'm not busy, if I'm not doing something productive. So I found myself with a couple of spare hours in the evening just doing nothing, and it was kind of killing me. I needed to find something to keep me busy and kind of give me a purpose. I know this kind of sounds a little bit sad, but like I just wanted to get out of this work, home, do nothing, work, home, do nothing, work, home, do nothing. It was a cycle that I didn't want to spend the rest of my life doing. So I was thinking, what should I do? Well, I started a blog. A lot of people I know have been starting blogs, and I know from them some success stories. So I decided to start a blog. Obviously, I didn't know anything about SEO or digital. All of my life, I've always done physical jobs, which was dog walking, cleaning, and cooking. All of these are physical jobs. I've never really needed to work on a computer to make a living. So, as you can imagine, it was a bumpy road to learn more about digital. Content was really bad when I started. Just really bad. Very thin, very unoptimized. Just write stuff and publish them. Basically, was what it was like.
On that, just go back to
Yeah.
that chapter there. Like I think at least a lot of our audience are introduced to the space through, I don't know, maybe like people like ourselves on this podcast, or people like Authority Hacker. They've done the course, or like Cunnington, or they come in to the space with an understanding of what content marketing or affiliate marketing is, with the goal of making money from it. But it doesn't sound like that was how you came into it. It doesn't sound like money potentially was the main driver. It sounded like you just needed something to do. Like, how did you know to start the site? What did you do? Did you take any courses? Did you follow anyone? Or
Yeah, that's a good point. Yes. So the my motive was not money. My motive was just to find a purpose, to do something for myself, something to keep me busy, and something to give me something to, I don't know, look forward to. Oh my god, I'm going home tonight. I can't wait to work on my site. Something
yeah,
that keeps me excited. And but yeah, so I was very lucky because at the time I was dating someone. I'm still dating that person who was luckily a bit more technical, and he worked in marketing. So he also back in the day used to own his own site. He created his own site, so he really really helped me create a WordPress site. Helped me set it up. He showed me the ropes of how to publish content, how to write content. Not really how to write, just how to, I don't know, navigate myself through WordPress.
yeah,
He knew some of SEO, but we never talked about SEO. So both of us really were really clueless of how to make it work. So we watched some YouTube videos of a couple that in 6 months they managed to leave their jobs and work on that full time. So we got really inspired. We're like, oh my god, in 6 months I can quit my job and we can do work on this together. That never happened. Obviously, I'm still working full time. But yeah, I was just very lucky that I had someone to show me some of the things that took to open the site. But again, it was very naive, very clueless. Just, I don't know, just going into the deep without knowing what we're doing. So,
yeah.
but yeah, this was pretty much. I didn't take any courses. I just watched some YouTube videos and keep hearing those glamorous success stories. There was no really anything that how people got there. It was just about we managed to get there, and I got inspired by that, but I didn't know what's gonna take. So yeah, this is kind of what.
Or a passion project, I guess. Then to start with,
Yes,
at least. Yeah.
yes, passion project, 100%.
One thing I
Okay,
forgot
so
to mention today, I know we did the housekeeping, but I did a terrible job because Mark's job is, Chris just reminded me, don't forget, hit the like button, like and subscribe and share. I forgot all of this stuff at the start. Like and subscribe and share. And if we get to 35 likes by the end, we'll give away some merch. Merch such as t-shirts or hats or cups. I don't even know where the presentation is that Mark pulls up to flash the merch, but we'll be giving some merch away. I'll figure it out by the end. So yeah, like the channel, like the stream, and share if you can. Sorry, Elena.
if we reach 35 likes, I promise I'm going to show the puppy. So hopefully
Yes.
hopefully that that motivates everyone to click that like button.
Like for the puppies.
Like for
That's
the
it.
puppy. But yeah, basically, this is basically just confirming it was a passion project. The truth is, I was just passionate about the niche. I had no idea how to rank. At first, I really didn't care. Like, I didn't.
Yeah.
I just thought, to be fair, as I said, I was a bit naive. I just thought that I'm going to pump some content and it's going to rank magically. But that's not how it works. So yeah, very naive, but I didn't really care. I just want to start a blog and share my passion. Hard times. So as I said, I was still working as a chef at the time when I opened my site. So at the time, I changed jobs because I moved in with my partner. So I found a new job, and a month later, the pandemic hit. And obviously, the prime minister requested all restaurants and cafes and pubs to shut down. So there was no choice, but everyone got furloughed. So that was okay. That was understandable. When the pandemic hit, I was having thoughts about I need to probably leave the industry, but I never, took the leap. I never decided, okay, we're doing it tomorrow. I was like, it'll be fine. Things will be fine. I'll just wait. So we were every chef was furloughed for 2 months, and then we started slowly getting back because things started to get better during the summer. I got back, I started working again, and unfortunately, in September, things started to get bad again. And there was word on the street was that one of the chefs is going to get furloughed again. And if you're furloughed again, that basically means you are let go because, at least for me, because my salary of the furlough would have been £400 per month, which is something I cannot survive. It's basically if I have the call that I am furloughed, I'm basically let go. So I got that call. I got the call. My boss said, you're followed. And I said, is there anyone else that was followed? She said, no, you're the only chef that's been followed. And that was real quick in the teeth because they basically said, you are the least valuable team member and we are letting you go. And I thought that I was doing well. I was working really hard. I was trying to prove my worth. I was being reliable. I was called on my days off to work, and I would always turn up. I was always be there, never call in sick, and I still got let go. And yeah, I felt sorry for myself for about a day. And I think the next day I was like, okay, this is it. This is the kind of the sign to move on from the industry. So I had to sit down and have a very honest conversation with myself of what am I good at? Like, what can I do? I've got no skills, but just, I don't know, cooking. And I think I need out of that. So I enjoy doing websites. I enjoy working on my website. And I've always had this motto that you have to work what you enjoy. And I hate people who work jobs that they hate. I don't want to spend my life doing that. So I really enjoy doing websites. So, working on my website. So I was like, I'll try and find a job, that involves doing work with websites, I guess. I still didn't know what I was looking for, to be honest. I had to sit down and put together a CV that was basically empty because I have no digital experience. And that was fun doing. My CV was one page, basically. And yeah, so I started applying like crazy. I started applying for every single job that I could see that had to do with digital. I did a bit of social media because of my site. I was quite active on social media, so I thought, okay, great, maybe I'll find a job that's to do with social media. So I don't know, Instagram management, I don't know, anything, that was, I guess, I was good at a little bit. So I applied for about 300 jobs and nobody came back, like not even a no. That's how bad things were. Like literally nobody. So out of those 299 people, one person came back to me, which is good. And that person was Mark from Niche Website Builders. By the way, that picture is not Mark. That is my dog. And the reason why there's a picture of a dog is because this dog looks happy, and that was my face when Mark came back to me. Very happy.
Their loss was our gain, right? It sounds like you had a terrible time with the old company, but
Yeah.
I guess when you mentioned there about your CV being didn't have a ton of experience, I think thinking back and looking back at it, what we saw was someone that had taken the initiative to start their own site, like I said, done social media stuff, and an ability and willingness to learn, which most of our employees that come to Niche Website Builders, they don't specifically have agency or SEO backgrounds or training, or because we do SEO totally different really than you would a traditional agency or a different job. So I think that's what we saw in you really, was that one, you were very tenacious and really willing to learn, but you'd also had some hands-on experience which showed you're willing to take a step outside the comfort zone and start something yourself, start a website alongside your job, which we know is hard work. And yeah, I think that's what we saw basically, which I think
Yeah.
299 other people missed to our advantage, basically.
Yeah, I don't know. I just count my lucky stars because it was, yeah, it's just incredible how it happened. To be fair, like I'm not gonna lie, like on my interview, I said things that weren't very true.
Wait, don't say no more now because I don't know these things. Carry on.
But at the end of the day, I got the job. So, and I guess I'm doing well. I hope. So, yeah, he invited me for an interview. He offered me the job at the end, and I began working as a link building executive. So yeah, this was I began building links. That was my first kind of feel and kind of journey of learning SEO, and the knowledge started to transfer. Okay, so yeah, I got promoted to a link building manager. I think it was like 6 months since I began as a link building executive, so that was quite promising, I guess. So yeah, I became a link building manager. I worked as a manager for a bit, and then I moved into website investing. And as most of you know, I work primarily with H domains, which I absolutely love. So this is where I'm at currently with my career, working at Niche Website Builders. Okay, so this is my favorite chapter, which is mistakes. this is a quote that I got from one of my favorite entrepreneurs called Stephen Bartlett. I love him to bits. He's an amazing, successful entrepreneur. He has a successful podcast, and I listened to him, and he recently posted this, and I thought this is really true. We can be truly successful only at something we're willing to fail at. If you're unwilling to fail, then you're unwilling to succeed. And I think you have to know you have to fail in order to succeed. And as I said earlier, like it's not a glamorous journey to the top, and often we have a lot of bumps. These are typically because of mistakes. Okay, so this is one of my sites. This is a graph that it was my first site, and it's from the last 16 months. But if I go back from the last probably 22 months, it's actually a lot worse. It's still flat if I go back, because this is just the last 16 months. But if I go back, it's just still flat. And this is kind of what it looks like of when I say not glamorous, because it's just a flat line. There's like nothing going on, no kind of really nothing going on. It's just flat, no progression, nothing's going on. And believe me, during that time, I was working every single night to make something happen, and that still wasn't happening. It's just a flat line of nothing, of nothingness, really. And that little bump up there that says whoop is the bump that really kind of filled my heart with joy, and it made me feel like it's all worth it. And as you can see, since that little bump at the top, things start to get very positive after that, and this just keeps going. And this is, in one picture, is what success looks like, in my opinion. It's very, very hard, very flat, until you start seeing this beautiful line going upwards.
By the way, Lois says, best manager ever. So testament to your managerial skills when you were working on the Links team.
Yeah, Lois is. I call Lois like my twin. She's just like me. So yeah, she's also fabulous. Quick meme: when someone asks me how I got better, lots and lots of mistakes. So for about a year and a half of having the site, I was generating barely anything. No, it wasn't just a sandbox period. I was just doing everything wrong. These mistakes are plagiarism. Now, I hated writing, and I'm ashamed to say, but I was having plagiarism issues because I just hate writing and I was cutting corners. So plagiarism and cutting corners go hand in hand. This is one of the things that I did to try to cut corners. Thin content, targeting very competitive keywords. At the time when I was learning SEO, I didn't really understand that you could target, low competition keywords and, try to rank your site, easier than trying to go after really competitive keywords. To be fair, I wasn't really optimizing very well at the time. Once I started learning SEO, I started to understand keywords more. So I started doing it, but still doing it wrong. No link building strategy, but build links anyway. Now, if you remember, I started as a link building executive. So the first kind of glance at SEO was building links, and I could see how much of a positive effect it had on our clients. So I thought, this is great. I'm just going to start building links. The problem with just building links is that you need a strategy, and I didn't have a strategy. I'll just post an article tomorrow and I'll be like, great, I'm just going to build a link on that article. There is no strategy. There is no specific anchor text that I was optimizing. There was nothing like that. It was just, I'm just going to build links. And I did. Fixing the mess. So I've already laid out a very negative foundation of my site. So things have been done very badly, bad content, cutting corners, not building links the way I should. And yeah, things were not looking good. So I had to fix the mess once I got a little bit better at SEO. So the first thing I had to fix is the plagiarisms, improve my content, which meant both making it original and optimizing properly. And of course, started targeting low KD, which is keyword difficulty keywords, and just something that I'm more able to rank. Because I was targeting things like, I don't know, how to make a brand or how to make spaghetti bolognese. Like, these are really, really competitive keywords. You can't compete with the big guys that do that. And I put link building on pause until I got the basics right. And I feel like the basics is, I don't know, like just content. You can't do link building without content. And I feel like that is why I paused it, because I first needed to fix my content. The results were traffic went up for the first time, money started coming in, finally felt what it's like to have progress after 1.5 years since being in the game. Finally started to see some positivity. Okay, so things I did right from the start. I got something right, actually. um, Worked hard, I guess. Didn't give up. I kept trying to improve and was realistic about the situation. And what I mean by was realistic about the situation was I didn't have an ego that was like, oh my God, look at me. I've got this side. I'm doing so well. I just knew it was crap. I knew that it was not good enough. I knew that whatever I was doing was not good enough, that I was not good enough to, it wasn't good enough basically. And I was realistic about it and I wanted to change that. Okay, so another thing I did right from the start was I posted on social media a lot. This is an approach that not many SEOs take. Um, this was one of the first things I learned was to have a social following and create as many social profiles as possible. And I still, to this day, post on social media very, very regularly. So what I managed to achieve from that is I must have sent obviously some social signals to my website, and Google has been maybe more forgiving towards some of my bad practices. Maybe that's why I haven't been penalized or I haven't been hit by any updates, which is very positive considering the what I've been doing in the past, getting corners, plagiarism, etc. Um, Gain the following, which is always helpful when you have people that like your content. You have an audience, an engagement, regular people visiting your site through mailing lists or other social media platforms. And I think the best of those was that I got a job in the SEO industry. um, Social medias I use and still currently use to this day, except Tumblr, is Instagram, Reddit, Pinterest are the three main. Facebook as well are the four main social media platforms that I use almost every single day. YouTube is something I'm working on. Medium and Tumblr I've kind of left, but this was something I worked very hard on to begin with. And Medium I post on there occasionally. So why website investing? Like, first of all, why didn't I just, I don't know, give up, or why website investing? I've always been, I don't know why, I've always been into investing into things. When I was 18, my goal was to save as much money as possible in the next 5 years so I can get into the property kind of business, because I just love the idea of having a house, renting it out, and just like, I don't know, like just someone paying off your mortgage. And because I am still renting and I've been renting all my life. And currently my rent is to pay someone else's mortgage in a nutshell. So I want to be one of those people that I have people paying my mortgage by renting those houses. So I really want to get into the housing market. So that was my initial goal. That changed a little bit because I started investing heavily into stocks and shares. So all of my money suddenly went into stocks and shares because I don't know, I was learning some stuff at the time that you could make passive income through if you invest enough money into stocks and shares over time. Because stocks and shares keep going up, you can make a passive income. So I thought that's another great idea. And then I changed again to crypto. So I started investing heavily into crypto. And I still do, but not as much. And now 90% of all of my investments are onto websites. And I don't think this is going to change because, first of all, I work with many clients that have extremely successful websites. I see success very regularly. Yes, I see failure. Yes, I see, as anything, there's going to be failures. But I work in the industry and I see the success and I see what website investing can do for you and how much success it can bring you. Now we also have much higher ROI opportunities. We have easier to start. Now I talked to you about how I want to enter the property market. You will need thousands of pounds to get a deposit. You need some, I don't know, legal fees, etc. It's very hard to start. But with websites, you need $100 to get started, pretty much. Easier and faster scaling. And by that, I mean, you just start another site. And if I have a house, to get another house, I need another big chunk of money to start that house. And you won't need a lot of cash up front to get started with websites. And I have a statistic here which I love. I keep sharing it, but I really like that statistics, which is the average rental ROI is between 5 to 15%. With websites, it can be as high as over 100%, depending on how successful your sites are. Mark has shared some case studies of his own sites that have had, I think it was over 300% return of investment. So things can be really, really good when they're good. And it's not a rarity, they're quite common. Okay, so day-to-day work. So what do I do on a daily basis on my sites? I do all keyword research. I do all the formatting and uploading of content. Occasionally, I write articles, even though I don't like it. I don't know many SEOs that do like writing, but I have to write sometimes because writing, it's expensive to hire writers, etc. I'm really focusing on my YouTube channel, and I spend, I don't know, probably a whole day on the weekends shooting and editing YouTube videos. There a lot of time and effort goes into preparation and shooting and editing a YouTube video. So that's where a lot of my time goes into right now. And as I said earlier, I still regularly share new content on social media platforms, which is a tedious process, but I think it's necessary, especially in today's times where Google is looking for more EAT, which is expertise, authority, and trust, and social signals that point to your site to make kind of Google feel like you're a legit business. So the present is I currently own 2 sites. I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel. I'm pushing out quality content, and so far so good. Things to focus on is continue to push out more quality content, invest more in link building, keep learning, and keep scaling. The future is I'll keep tearing down H-domains with you all. I will keep learning from people like Mark and Adam and other people in the industry, and I will keep growing my sites. This is it. Thank you very much.
That was amazing. That was awesome. That was really cool to know, to understand your story and see your background, and just see that it's not all kind of sunshine. There is ups and downs. People make mistakes, but also to see that you recognize that you needed some help in one way or the other. I mean, your way of getting help was to get a job in the industry. Other people will, partner with a team of people to do the same thing. So that was awesome. And I think, hey Mark, by the way, Mark's joined now. I think it's been for me and Mark when I say like we're really proud of what you've done there, of building your own site and doing this alongside your own job. I mean, we're making no secret that me and Mark have invested in thousands of pounds for courses for like our employees at Niche Website Builders, and we love to see these success stories. We've got a Slack channel dedicated to them for our employees. Like, it's awesome to see, and it's yeah, really well done. Hats off. And for anybody who's watching and will interact with Elena on a personal level through Niche Website Builders, at least now you know a little bit about her and her backstory, and see that she's the real deal. She's actually doing this for herself as well as helping you. I think it's great.
Yeah, it's, to be fair, like I think that working in the industry is great, but I think the more you do things yourself, at least that's how I learn, is the more you do it in your free time, the more you're into it, the better, and the more you learn, the faster you learn. I just think you need to experience things yourself. It's good to have like general knowledge of why it's important to build a link, but you should go out there and build a link yourself to really truly understand, I don't know, the depths and the importance of it and all that sort of thing. So I think that having my own sites on the side, working as a full-time employee at Niche Website Builders has really helped me be the person that I am today. So yeah, it's a both way really.
No, and I think Elena's a good example of like where commitment can kind of get you, and that's exactly, we've seen that in Elena, say it both, and that's why we, she's ended up in the position that she's in at Niche Website Builders, because we saw that she had a passion and a drive to do it. She was creating a blog prior, and she's really taken on everything, taken the courses that we've been supplying, and really just taken all of those learnings, and now her sites are something completely different to what they were before, and it's awesome to see, and it just shows, like we often say that the most common reason sites fail is because people give up too soon, or they don't keep pushing through. Like Elena's the example here of like it didn't work out first time, didn't work out second time, but now she's finally got there in the end, and as Elena says, I think a lot of people just don't get started soon enough. Like they don't have to do it. A lot of people just do a lot of learning, a lot of thinking, but they won't actually do it. And like the best thing to do is just learn on the job, because and you will make mistakes, but don't be scared of making mistakes. That's a mistake is a learning in its own right. So yeah,
thanks.
Well done, Elena, and Thorsten says what a great team effort. Chris asked what courses do we get for employees. So we've got 2 courses for them. We've got the Authority Hacker course and Matt Digby's Affiliate Lab course. So both are available to all our employees well, we actively encourage them to go and complete the courses as well. So they are the courses that we have. Mark, you'll hate me because I didn't do pretty much any housekeeping as usual when you were not here. Before we jump into the domains, I'll just do a little bit more of housekeeping. So again, don't forget to like and subscribe. If we get 35 likes, then we will do the giveaway. I'm not 100% sure how many we're on now because I forgot to load it up in the background, but I'll have a little look in a second. Don't forget that we are running our Building Empires second event in January. So we did one earlier on this year. It was awesome. And this one in January is going to be even better. It's going to be 5 days of events, workshops, where basically we get experts in the field to tell you how they're building, scaling, and selling profitable websites. And then finally, don't forget to grab a deal. If you want to work with niche website builders, if you want to work with Elena here, then grab one of the discount codes in the description below. You get 10% off your first link building order or 10% more content. So that's housekeeping done. Take that off so Mark doesn't shout at me later. And back over to...
I can't promise I'm not going to shout at you later. I mean, I did that anyway.
Back over to you, Elena, to run through some age domains for us.
Yes, so I have 2 today. Both of them are interesting, quite opposite. So the first one I'll start with is GuyDoe, I think.
GuyDoe, I think it is.
GuyDoe. Okay, GuyDoe. Travel, 9 years old. Fabulous authority and some fabulous backlinks on there as well. So I'm going to do the good old share my screen and begin.
It's the Elena show.
Okay, so my favorite place is the backlinks. So I'd like to start with the backlinks first. So we have Medium, Feedburner, Wikimedia. Sorry, I was about to say Wikipedia. It's actually Wikimedia. Entrepreneur.com, and we have news.yahoo.com, Amazon.co.au, which is Australia, yourstory.com, Pinterest, and a couple more high authority backlinks down the line as well. So overall, very, very good backlink profile, which kind of explains why the authority is quite high for this domain. So the first thing that you immediately see on this beautiful anchor text profile is that at the very top we have branded, which is exactly what you want to see. We have naked. I wouldn't worry about this. This has been checked, so nothing to worry about. Sometimes you tend to see this, and as you can see, they only have 4, so nothing to worry about on this one. Right at the top, the majority of backlinks are pointed towards branded anchor text, so I would not worry about it. For me, this is a fantastic anchor text profile. Best by links, best pages by incoming links is the cleanup process required. So there isn't a lot in here. The majority is pointed towards the homepage, which is good. But there is a couple here that, at least that I like, that I think we should recreate anyway. And they do have 4 backlinks pointing to them. But they're all nice listicle types of content that I absolutely love. So I think these will need to be recreated. But we're only looking at like a handful that we will need to recreate and redirect in order for us to reserve power. So this is what the site looked like. So this was basically a site about an app that was basically anything to do with travel, kind of guides and stuff like that. So, but they did have like a blog section as well. And later on, the domain kind of became something. I think it changed ownership, but it was still very much in the travel. So nothing to worry about. It was just unfortunate that this app probably didn't work out. So this is the reason why we're seeing it today. The strategy. Now, travel is so broad and it can be tackled through, so many different areas. Some people focus on one area. Some people focus on everything. Some people focus on just information piece of content on how to prepare for traveling. Many, many, many different ways that you can tackle it. So it is a big niche, quite a lot of competition, but there's just so much room for many other sites to enter the space. Because traveling is just, as I said, like it's so broad. Like there's so many things. It's a big planet. Like it's many countries, many certain situations, restrictions, planes, trains, restaurants. There's so much going on with travel. Here's our strategy: listicle types of content around best things to do in X and Y city, maybe 5 best things. I don't know, 5 of the best things to do. I don't know, in Chicago. Best food places. Now, often, travel and food go hand in hand. When people go away, they like to try the local restaurant. They like to go out to eat. We don't cook really when we go to travel. Well, some people do, but not always. You tend to go out and eat, and often when you visit a country, you want to try the local food. You want to see what it's about. So, as I said, food and travel often goes hand in hand. So best food places, X and Y cities, could be anything like restaurants, ice cream shops, I don't know, you name it, anything. Of course, we're going to tackle the information pieces of content around travel. So anything from packing, traveling on a budget, plane restrictions, visa requirements. I don't know. These are just like very broad suggestions, but this means many things. This can be many, many things. The monetization can come from different affiliate programs, display adverts, things like travel bags, charging power banks to your phone, other gadgets, many, many, many things. Travel, as I say, is extremely broad. Now, the first example I'd like to show you is roamingtousa.com. Remember, we're DR31. This domain is DR15. It's generating a really, really good amount of traffic. This is 180,000 according to Ahrefs. And let's take a look at what they are covering. First of all, they only have 239, pages. And as I mentioned earlier, some sites decide to just target one kind of area of the planet. And this one is specifically targeting the USA. And just targeting one that, I know that the USA is big, but it's not the whole planet now, is it? And it's generating really, really, really a lot of traffic. So this is kind of what they're covering. Best cities to visit in the US, which is a listicle types of content, I believe. A lot of listicles. Yeah, so 68. This is your classic listicle types of content. 68 best places to visit in the US. It looks, which is your listicle from number 3, Seattle, Washington, and then whatever it is next, which is Texas. So a great example of what can be achieved just for the US for a small authority website. Yeah, so they cover all sorts of things related to the US in terms of traveling. Cabins with hot tubs near me. Wow, okay. Texas road trips, best places to visit in February in US, things like that. So yeah, just US, these guys, and they're doing a really, really good job. Now, the second example is even less authority, like nearly anything, just 3. And this one is once again limited to one situation, which is Orlando, and it's just with kids. And even though they're only focusing in one area for one kind of target, which is kids, is generating, I think, very good amount of content, number of content traffic. And, we are probably, of course, going to cover, traveling with kids, because so many people travel with kids and there's different requirements. What should I pack for my kid? I don't know, all sorts of topics, and these people were just targeting one area, which is Orlando. I think are doing really well. Again, not a lot of pieces of content considering, the traffic. And there are your classic listicles: 55, 25, 100, best. Let's see this one. So all sorts of different Orlando kind of queries, but a lot of them are focused around kids. So best Orlando resorts for families. And I believe this is a listicle. It's definitely, yes, 18 best. So it's a listicle. Everything they've done is pretty much listicles, but they are really focused around kids. So it's, if I click mini golf Orlando, that's definitely going to be focused around an activity you can do with your family. Yes, for families. So, and they're all kind of listicles, 14, every single one of those listicles. It just shows how successful listicle types of content can be. So, yeah, for me, this is a great example, and I think we should definitely consider, having a category probably on dedicated to traveling with kids, because as we're just seeing, just from Orlando with DR of nothing, these guys are doing really well, I think. So the third example is GoWonderly.com. DR25, again, less authority than us, generating 152,000 per month according to Ahrefs. And again, not a lot of pieces of content. Like, this isn't a lot. And here's what we have. We have best islands to visit in Hawaii. We have restaurants. This is what I was talking about, travel and food going hand in hand. And then this can fall nicely into our informational pieces of content on travel, which is, can you bring this? Can I have that? Security, blah, blah, blah. Restaurants, we have breakfast, we have party resorts. You get the point. This is, again, I think a very, very good example. And overall, just based on these competitors, I think there is a lot of potential for this domain. It's good authority, good backlinks, good strategy, and the competitors to prove that. So this is the first one, and I will do the second one, which is Diary of a Vintage Girl. Another really, really good authority domain. We have DR32, and we have quite a few referring domains. The domain is 13 years old, which is very good age. And yeah, I'm going to get cracking then. Oh, I just turned my camera off. Click the wrong button. Whoops. Okay, so let me just load my stuff. I just want to show you kind of what it looked like on the Wayback Machine. While this is loading, I'm just gonna give you a summarizing of what it was. So it was run by a beautiful lady called Fleur, I think it was. Fleur? I think it was her French name. She looks very beautiful, and she was all to do with vintage. She loved vintage. She liked to share her passion about vintage and everything to do with vintage. So, as I said earlier, it's DR31. So let's take a look at the backlinks. So we have blogger.com, flickr.com, feedburner.com, huffpost.com, justgiving.com, blogloving.com, bustle.com, cosmopolitan.com, Hindu, instanttimes.com, and other high quality backlinks in here as well. So it explains why we have a DR32, because the backlinks are pretty good. Now, in terms of the anchor text profiles, sorry, all my tabs are loading. In terms of the anchor text profile, we're seeing a couple of things. At the very top, we're seeing branded, which is very good. And then we're seeing the name of the lady, which is, I don't know how you pronounce it. Is it Flo? I think it's Flo. Which is, as we know, very good for EAT, which is expertise, authority, and trust. So when we come to creating this site, we'll create a persona with the name Flo. We're not going to use her surname, so we're not going to do this. We're just going to use this because it's already an established EAT, and it would be foolish not to utilize this. But as we are seeing here, the anchor text profile is really, really good. We're having a branded naked anchor text here. So overall, really, really, really good. Cleanup process, we have quite a few referring domains, so it is expected for us to see that some of them will be pointed towards internal pages, but we're seeing right at the top that it is a homepage, which is good, but there is going to be required a little bit of a cleanup, primarily to do with hair. Like we have a hair tutorial here, we have skin, how to have a luminous skin, vintage way, and other stuff, hair again with hot sticks tutorial. So a couple of, I'll say maybe several, probably 10 to 15 would need to be recreated in order for us to reserve that beautiful power. So here's the strategy. Fashion is competitive. Like a lot of people get into fashion just because everyone dresses, and a lot of people have that as a passion. And however, obviously, we're not gonna go broadly in terms of the fashion. We're just gonna be targeting one specific area, which is vintage, retro, and alternative fashion. So here's the strategy. Listicle types of content around vintage clothing, 10 long vintage dresses for any occasion, all sorts of queries like that. Information pieces of content on the fashion throughout the years. Now, I saw a competitor that was doing something similar. It was higher authority than us, but what this competitor was doing was basically writing pieces of content of what things used to be, how people used to dress, I don't know, in the 1920s, things like that. So it was generating traffic. So I thought this is something we definitely consider doing. Listicle types of content around styling, 10 long vintage dresses that go well with black bags, etc. Info pieces of content around alternative fashion, vintage and retro hairstyles. And I looked at this, and it's really good because it really works well for listicle types of content. So if you look at the top kind of pages on Google, we're seeing listicles. So 30 iconic retro and vintage hairstyles. Then we have 30 again, we have 11, we have 39, and we have 10, we have 170. So something like that is where my head's going at in terms of hairstyles. And I have some keywords here that I've pulled through, which aren't extremely competitive. We have for long hair, we have for wedding, we have for men, we have for we have 50s, 1950s black hairstyles. You can divide this through many different kind of sections depending. You can do short hair, medium size, medium length hair. You can do all sorts of different things in terms of hair. So, and the competition isn't as strong. We're not talking, I don't know, 30s, 50s, KD. So some of these are even 9. So they're not extremely competitive. So I think we can definitely consider this as well.
I like that. There's a lot of traffic there, I think. Like when you add it all up. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I agree. Something definitely to consider. And these are easy. Well, easy, but these are good pieces of content because you can do 50, I don't know, 120 long hair vintage hairstyles, 1950s vintage hairstyles. Easy listicle types of content. Outfit ideas for X and Y event. For example, how to dress for a wedding that's, I don't know, vintage themed, something like that. I think this can be explored as well. Okay, so jumping onto the competitors. So this competitor is neck and neck, the same authority than us. Simply80s.com. Okay, I managed to get this one. It's generating 154,000, which basically kind of shows us what can be achieved within our authority. DR32 neck and neck with us and generating a pretty good amount of traffic. So let's take a look at what they're doing. Now, they're all doing like 80s, men disco outfits and all sorts of different kind of things. They're focusing a lot on the 80s. So I thought this is a good example of what kind of can be achieved within that sort. Celebrities in the 80s, which can be a great listicle types of content, I suppose. Plus size 80s costumes. A lot of this can be monetized. So I thought this was a pretty interesting site. The second one is Great Gatsby dresses, which is plus size Great Gatsby dresses. DR9, so much less authority than us, generating 22,000, nearly 23,000 per month according to Ahrefs. And here's, they have 154, and they're doing men's fashion, 1920 shoes, women. They're doing evening gowns of 1920 style. Popular dances in 1920s, which is very good, I guess, for a listicle. What do I wear to a 19 party, which is very okay. So it's 7 with the most. Yeah, it's a listicle types of content, which is something that I'm all about. We can do old-fashioned in the day dances, which is interesting. Yeah, things like that. So I think that overall, great kind of authority that this has. And if you want to go a little bit more retro and explore that kind of niche and really try to thrive in it, I think there is potential. And this is all the H domains done.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Elena.
No problem. That was
excellent. So we do have a few questions. We got Ravi. So for what hang on, have I done this wrong around? Well, for new one, when see some growth in website after how many articles can I see some traction? At present, I have 30 articles and still hardly any traffic coming. I'm writing in technology domain. It is saturated. To keep trying on new website still can have chance to rank and get traffic. So I think big question there, Ravi, is like, how long have you been doing this website for? If it's on a brand new domain and it's within 12 months, especially if it's within 6 months, you're probably not going to expect much traffic at all because you're still going to be in the Google sandbox. However, even if you have been doing it a while and you're out of the Google sandbox, 30 articles actually still isn't a lot. You may need to revisit your keyword research, but the chances are is that you just haven't written enough articles yet. You've got to write more than 30. We're going to be presenting or launching shortly our what we call our big data project, which is going to give you a much better indication of how many articles you need to get a certain level of traffic. That's something that's coming soon. We're not ready to share yet, but 30 articles really isn't that many. If you're getting no traffic at all, and you've been over 12 months, then you might want to revisit the keyword research a little bit and just check competitors and check that you're finding that other competitors are ranking for the same stuff that you're trying to rank for, and it's not actually dominated by much more powerful sites than your own. That's probably the advice I can give. Anything else to add there, guys, on that? Hey, L Couch, welcome back. Tony, sorry it's late. Elena.
You're forgiven, Tony.
And Ravi. Ravi, that was a question to Ravi, who we just answered the question for. So yeah, we just mentioned about the keyword difficulty there as well. There you go. It's over 7 months old with domain almost 3 years old. So okay, so the domain, if you just held the domain in your registrar and didn't build anything on it, then that doesn't matter. Like effectively your site is 7 months old. You start counting the age of a site from the first moment it got indexed by Google. So although the domain's 3 years old, and if it was sitting in your domain with your domain registrar, that's no good. Like it's from the first time that Google saw your site. So in theory, if that's the case, your site is just 7 months old. That's still not very long. Just keep going, and eventually you'll start seeing some traction, providing you are targeting keywords that you can actually rank for. If it's an age domain that already had a website on it before, then still, I don't think it's the same answer. You still need to keep going, but you do probably need to revisit the keyword research just to make sure you're on track with that. As I missed the start of Elena's presentation, but I'm assuming she covered some of that as well.
Is the Queen all right?
Yeah, just looking at the news site there now, it looks like something potentially.
Oh no,
she's not very well.
No.
Called all her family in.
Uh-oh.
This could be that. I don't know.
Oh no. I thought she was going to live forever.
Felt that way, didn't it?
Yeah. Carly's excited about the data project. So wait, Carly, the early findings are really interesting. We just need to make it,
across the board, really. Yeah, we need to do more digging first.
Is it me or is it like the massive delay on the conversation? Like on you, maybe it's just me and Elena. Yeah. Okay, yeah, you two look like you're really delayed. You're talking, but the voice comes like 10, 15 seconds later, so I think it's me. Okay, that's it.
126 likes, by the way. So is that enough? I can't remember. Was it 25 or 35 we needed? 35.
It was 35.
35.
35.
We'll do it anyway, shall we?
We need 9 more likes. Who's going to like? How of you 26 people watching now, 9 of you must be able to hit the like button to get us to 35. And then Elena will show us her dog. That's the promise, right? Hit the like button.
I'm not seeing it anymore.
Elena will show us the dog, and I really want to see the dog, so hit it. Basically.
No like, no dog. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'll start flashing the merch, but if you type something, if you're interested in being in the draw for merch, then type something into the chat now and we will enter you to the draw. You've got to type something in the next 5 minutes because that's the way Google works. Otherwise, we will not be able to put you into the draw. So type something in the chat now if you're interested in winning some Niche Website Builders merch, a t-shirt, a hat, or a mug, and I'll share that with you now.
Quick question from Thornston. Have you considered to run your data through some AI models? No, definitely not. One, I wouldn't know where to start. And two, it's not even super complex data. It's just time-consuming data. It's just finding the most time-consuming part we've spent is finding the right type of websites to include in the data set. So we've excluded, all e-commerce type of websites. We've excluded sites which have got login areas. We're literally just looking for sites that are affiliate or a display ad-based website specifically. So a massive chunk of the time is basically just looking at how we got the right sites in the data set. The data itself is really basic. It's from SEMrush and Ahrefs, and then how we band them together. But there's not a ton to run through like AI models. It's just time consuming finding the right ones, I think.
Cool. So here's the merch. Here's what you can win. Look as cool as these guys. So we've got t-shirts. We've got t-shirts in different colors. You've got the full Niche Website Builders logo, or you've got the partial logo, which seems to be more popular. We got mugs. One here.
Mark, with your gangster cap. Put your gangster cap on.
And a cap.
There it is.
With my hoodie now as well today. I like even more.
I'm gonna start calling you M&M.
Carly says you're not eligible for merch. Why's that?
It's because she thinks she's already won. You're definitely eligible for more merch. You can get a gangster hat like Mark.
Exactly. All right. Let's see who we got. What have we got here?
I'll load up the music. Where is the music?
1 more minute.
What are we feeling like today? A bit of hip hop to go with Mark's gangster hat, maybe? That's it, Mark. No, just gangster dancing.
It's the least hip hop ever, isn't it?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Okay.
I saw a picture today of Tony. He's flashing his WP Eagle mug in a Niche Website Builders t-shirt.
Tony's the most merched up man on the internet, I feel like. I feel he's got merch from everyone. Tony doesn't need to do shopping anymore. He's just got t-shirts coming out of his ears.
Cool. Okay. Just about made it. Okay, here we go. Are we ready? Let's do it.
I still think someone should invent the hour-long wheel of name spins so we can do the suspense at the start of the show.
I don't know, like I don't know if looking at the wheel halfway through the show is suspense.
Yeah. Oh, it's not going to be Tony. It's not going to be Tony again.
So Scott.
Oh.
Scott. Yay! Congrats, Scott.
Well done, Scott.
Well
So if you head over to the Niche Website Builders website, nichewebsite.builders, you can get the link in the description if you don't know it. You can get, head over to our chat or to our contact form, and we'll send you the merch of your choice.
Yes.
Cool.
Awesome. Good stream. Thanks, Elena, for sharing your journey with us. I think it's been great. I think everyone now knows a little bit more about you. And hopefully next time we get 35 likes because everyone wants to see the dog. So, 35 likes. No likey, no doggy.
I'm not compromising like Mark. There's no compromise from my side. You get 35 likes, you get the puppy. Simple as that.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, you need to start running things. Really more strict than me.
Awesome. What do we got? Anything else? Do we know what next week's topic is yet? Do we anything to big up there or not?
Oh, I don't know. Let's have a look. Shall I?
Potentially.
Cool.
Carly says thank you, and mostly Elena. So awesome.
Oh. Thanks everyone for listening. It was it was
You
mostly
were quite nervous before we started, weren't you? So
thanks for listening, everyone.
Mark.
You go. Get in there.
Imagine we get there and we haven't got a topic yet. Disappointment after disappointment.
At least we should think. Well, at least we'll have one for the Niche Lifestyle show next Wednesday. It's on
Doug's channel, right?
Yeah, let's have a check. There you go. Yeah, so next Wednesday on Doug's channel. You can grab the link in this. Well, I don't know if you can actually. It's Doug Cunnington's YouTube channel. So things you shouldn't waste time on your niche site. So things you shouldn't waste time on your niche site is the topic for next week on Doug's channel at WP Eagle, the Niche Lifestyle Show at 3 p.m. UK time. So
Elena can answer that one super easy. Just don't waste time on making mistakes. Simple, easy.
So easy, guys. We don't need a whole stream for this.
Stop wasting time on mistakes. Just don't make them. Start with plain and simple, easy.
And yes, we do have a subject for next week. It's an exciting one. So we've got Andrea from Bupos coming onto the stream to talk about. Well, they provide
Funding and finance, isn't it?
Funding and finance for digital assets. So very interesting. So yeah, so she's going to be on the show next week. So check that out because I think that should be a good one. To learn more about Bupos and what they do.
Yeah, we had a cool call with them, didn't we? Because I saw the service and was like, this looks awesome. They provide funding for acquisition, or they provide growth funding as well. So if you've got a website at a certain level and you need capital to expand it, they provide that as well. So I've not come across. Well, in the US, I think there's more options, right, for funding for digital assets. Like you've got SBAs and stuff like that. But outside of the US, especially the UK, it's very hard to get funding for these kinds of assets. So it's the first company I've come across that provide them for these kinds of sites that we deal in. So we thought we'd get them on and let them explain how it works and to everyone else. Because we thought it was a great opportunity.
Awesome. Cool. Okay, so yeah, look forward to that one for sure. Anything else to add before we sign off?
Nope. Yep. Off to the beach.
You're in Spain now. It's thunderstorms here today, Adam. So
good.
You know,
it rains until I come back.
So I've got a jumper on. Right. Okay. Well, I'll catch you later. Catch everyone next week. Have a great weekend in the meantime, but we'll see you next week.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Bye.